Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. So today we are going to be pulling shards for the new Fragment Summons that's happening. This is for a champion called Jetni. So we'll just go in and check her out. Where are we? Jetni. There we are. So Jetni the Giant, another absolutely awesome looking skin. Really impressed with that skin. I've heard Jetni, I haven't delved too far into her kit or anything like that, but I have heard she hits quite hard, especially when she's matched up with her sort of counterpart that they're bringing into the game as well. So we'll go into her kit on her A1. So she has attacks one enemy 2 times. The first hit has a 30% chance of placing a stun for 1 turn. The second hit has a 30% chance of placing a decreased defense for 2 turns. So stun and decreased defense on the A1 is pretty good, pretty handy. A stun is always handy, but if she's going to be a nuker, then maybe you're not going to want to build her with too much accuracy. But I guess it's a nice part of the kit. On her A2, she's got attacks all enemies will ignore 20% of each target's defense. So any champion with an ignore defense in any sort of manner is great in my opinion, and they're good damage dealers. That's what they're for. So yeah, just reduces any defense. So and then has a 75% chance of placing a decreased defense for 2 turns. This debuff cannot be resisted if Owlsgore Crimson Horn is on the same team. So that's her counterpart. So yeah, no need for accuracy in that if Owlsgore is in the team. And then on the A3, attacks all enemies 2 times before attacking, places increased crit rate and increased crit damage for this champion, and grants an extra turn if this attack kills an enemy when Owlsgore is on the same team. So another sort of synergy with Owlsgore. So yeah, attacks attacks all enemies 2 times and buffs the champion for herself. So a bit greedy, but yeah, a good champion nonetheless, a good attack nonetheless. And then on the passive, inflicts 20% more damage against targets under shield. Will ignore shield buffs if Owlsgore is on the same team. So yeah, a champion that really goes in on the sort of synergy. We'll pull up Owlsgore. Here he is. There's Owlsgore, looking pretty sweet as well. We won't go into his kit, but yeah, definitely a champion worth looking at. If you pull them both, then they might be worth it in the same team. A bit like Astralon and Countess Lix. I don't have Countess Lix, I have Astralon. So he's pretty, I mean, he's a good damage dealer, but he's pretty useless on his own. I've seen teams with him and Countess Lix on it, and they absolutely smack. So the events and tournaments are going on for Jetni right now. We've got the Dragon Tournament, which I am into, but haven't quite finished yet. I finished it on my other account, I haven't finished it on this one. I've got Classic Arena going on, which I haven't started yet, because generally, I'm in Gold 5, so generally I use all of my coins every day anyway, which means I do those tournaments without really thinking about it. Champion training's going on this weekend. I've already got 3,000 points in that, but I'm sure that won't be a struggle if you sort of go by those tips and tricks that other YouTubers are talking about. You know, leveling your food before you use it as chickens, etc., etc. Dungeon Divers, which will go hand in hand with the Dragon Tournament and the Champion Training Tournament if you're not just using brews the whole time. And then Artifact Enhancement. But the one we're really talking about today is Summon Rush. So I've made a crucial mistake. I mentioned it in my last video. I spent or used all of my Sacreds when it was the times 2 Sacred pull. So I'm a little bit stuck on my Kale account. I've got something like 14 Sacreds since last weekend, or was it the weekend before? I've got about 14 Sacreds on my Galek account, but my Kale account has been so unlucky. So I've only got 4 Sacreds on this account. I've got 1 Void and 92 Ancient Shards. Now, I think it's probably, looking at how many Ancient Shards I have, it's probably Ancients next weekend, times 2 Ancient Shard event. But I think I'm going to have to spend about 70 of these Ancients to be able to get Jetni. If any of you know, I generally run my account so that I pull these Fragment and Fusion summons. They're what I do in the game. That's what I enjoy doing. I enjoy the grind throughout the week. Collecting resources and then sort of wasting all my resources all at once on these Fragment or Fusion summons. So I'm going to spend these Ancient Shards. I think I'm probably going to really regret it, but I'm going to do it anyway. What we'll do, we'll start off with Sacreds, pull the Void, and then we'll go into the Ancients, 7-10 pulls, and then we'll move on to the other account and do the Sacreds on that one. So let's get into it. So I am going to have to pause while I'm doing these pulls because I definitely don't have enough room I don't have the inventory space for all these champions. Is she was the epic on the last fusion, wasn't she? I really could have done with her in the last fusion, except actually that was a really easy fusion by all accounts. Anyway, an epic, not what I'm interested in. If we get any golds, I'll be buzzing. I forgot to say, I'll go back and have a look. Hotatsu. There is a ×10 for poisoners this weekend, so I'm not really interested in the void shards. I'm interested in what you can pull from sacreds and ancients. Baradel is easily my favourite champion in the game. I have him on my Galek account. I don't have him on my Kale account, and actually, I will admit, he's for being my favourite champion in the game. He's very underutilized on my Galek account. I don't even think I've ever built him. We've got a Draco, which I wouldn't mind another Draco. More Dracos, the better, in my opinion. And Calvalax, which I do have on my Galek account as well. I've got some really good poisoners on my Galek account. Calvalax, who was a fan-made champion that they made him into the game. And yeah, just a great champion, great poisoners. So any of these epics are pretty good epics to keep. Generally, I have all of them at the moment on both accounts. But yeah, any of these legendaries I will take. So 2 more sacreds to go. Nothing of interest as of yet. Another epic. Chinoru, not interested. Moving on. No legendaries there. A Seeker. Probably my 8th Seeker on this account. So let's go in, let's pull the Void Shard. If we get that legendary, I can't remember his name because I never think I'm going to pull Void legendaries. And lo and behold, I've got a rare Void, so that's good. And then we will jump into the Ancients. Let's hope for a legendary. Any legendary will do, really. I'm not that bothered. All blue. Right, I'm going to need to make some room, guys, and I'll be right back with you. All right, guys, here we are with a little bit more room. So we pulled 1 temple. We've got 6 more temples to go. I actually only need to pull 69 Ancients, for if my math is correct, but I might as well pull the whole 70. I don't think one's going to hurt. Ursine, Ice Crusher, and all blues not interested. Moving on. So this will be 30 Ancients. An Anax, that's one of the champions in the ×10. Very nice to see. Mistress of Nothingness. And another Anax. If I only used him, that might be quite useful. But I don't really use him. I've seen him do some massive numbers in Clan Boss, but he's just not not a champion that I've taken interest in. My Clan Boss team is and another Seeker. My Clan Boss team is the sort of most important team, and I've pumped all of my energy into those champions. So to change it and bring in an Anax, it'll decrease the damage. I can almost guarantee it. Right, I'm going to make some more room, and then I'll be right back. So here we are, 3 more temples, I think. So here is the first 10. Any legendaries? I don't think we're going to get one, you know. That is so disappointing if we don't. Sepulture is a great champion, great for when you're starting off with Clan Boss. Like, I would say you can probably take Sepulture up to Ultra Nightmare, but I would say she probably comes, she gets outclassed when you get higher on in the game. So great for sort of Brutal or Nightmare Clan Boss, and then moving on to Ultra Nightmare, you probably want to find a champion that's got a bit more utility to their kit, and has a 3-turn cooldown on the block debuffs, because she's got a 4-turn, so it means you need to build her as a 4 to 3 ratio to the Clan Boss, which when you're really trying to speed tune, or if you're trying to go unkillable or something like that, Sepulture just does, she outruns the unkillable buff. But yeah, great champion building up, great champion for a sort of 1-to-1. Also has a decreased attack, I think, on the A1. Yeah, decreased attack on the A1 and a block debuffs on the A2. So it makes a really, really viable Clan Boss. So on to the next lot of champions, on to the next temple. We're not going to put legendary, and out of 70 Ancients, and sort of sacrificing these Ancients for next weekend, or before next weekend, I'm really sad about. All rares on that one, not interested, but I can see how many Ancients I can get in the week, and if I don't use too many gems, I do hoard my gems for these events, for these fusions and fragments, so if I don't use too many through this fragment fusion, then through this fragment, then hopefully I'll be able to buy some, but it's not very good use of gems. I'd rather be spending on energy or just hoarding it generally, really. But I think that is it, guys. No legendaries on my Kale account, so that's 4 sacreds, 70 Ancients and 1 Void, not 1 Legendary. But I guess it kind of... There you go. So we've got all the fragments there. I'll just collect them while we're looking. Collect all the other rewards. Keep the energy. Always keep the energy until you actually need it, because you don't want to waste it. That's 300 energy and an XP booster. So yeah, not something you want to waste. So, no Legendaries. I'll log into my Galek account and we'll see how we get on there. All right, here we are on my Galek account. I need to make a little tiny bit of room. So we need to pull 7 Sacreds. That was 5. So I just need to waste 2 of these champions. Go in there. So 7 Sacreds to get the fragments for this champion, for Jetni. So we'll just get straight into it. I've only been pulling mystery shards where I've been doing the champion training. I've done the dragon tournament on this account and Nazara. Yeah, I've done the dragon tournament on this account, so it's just the sort of champion training that really needs my attention. I do level gear in the artifact enhancement event tournament. I can't remember which one it is. Tyrell, great champion, another champion with a decreased attack on the A1. I have never used one. I actually pulled him really late in the game, so I never had the opportunity to use him. And as I said, my clan boss teams had already sort of progressed to the point where I didn't really need him anymore once I pulled him. But yeah, real shame, because I would have loved him really early on in the game. And he's a sick looking champion. Like, I just think he looks so cool. But yeah, moving on. How many have I pulled? Is that number 4? Gizzard. I don't know how to say that. Another great looking champion. I really like that sort of medieval look, but I prefer a sort of twist on medieval looks. You know, I like Bad Elf, for example, because he just looks so cool and like just sort of outright looks evil, to be honest. I kind of like that aesthetic. Adriel, no thank you. Any legendaries. If I don't pull a legendary, it's well, I will pull one eventually. That's always my Canoness is a no. Always my mentality in this. I will pull Jetni at the end of this. So, I mean, for 7 Sacred Shards without a legendary, but you are guaranteed a champion at the end of it, a legendary champion at the end of it, and potentially one of the best champions in the game. You know, you're talking your Brognies was a fusion fragment, your Helicath, Tormin. You know, not Tormin. What's his name? The Ice Dwarf. Is it Tormin? I can't remember, but these champions, you know, they're held in high regard within this game. So I think it's more beneficial to be able to pull. Chani is a no. Let me go in. Yeah, I think it's really important. Well, I think it's better, in my opinion. It takes away the chance. That's what it takes away the variables. There we go. So we got all the fragments. Yeah, so doing these events, doing these fragment summons, it takes away a chance of not pulling a legendary. I don't put money into the game. I'm free to play, so a guaranteed chance of pulling a champion or buying with money or gems, shards, to then waste and maybe not pull a champion. It's just not worth it for me. So there we are. Anyway, guys, that'll be all for today. That'll be all the summoning I need to do today. Anyway, that's for sure. I don't need to do any more until next weekend when it's a ×2. We're looking at, I don't know, maybe 100 shards by 100 ancients by next weekend on my Galek account. Significantly more on my Kale account, but there we are. So yeah, that's it for me, guys. I will be pulling shards next weekend on the ×2 Ancients. And guys, if you're interested in seeing more sort of content from me, I have started doing a podcast with a friend of mine. It's called The Steve Kalish Show. So I've ended up being a sort of producer on his show. He's a very funny guy and someone I really like sort of talking to and listening to. So if you want to see more content like that, go and check it out. The link will be in the description. Have a good day.